He's like,
This dude.
Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning on WNOV 860 106.5. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. And so good morning, Debo. Good morning, Carvey. Good morning, Michelle. Hey, Jackie. Lord. We do have an interview coming up at 10 o'clock, so let me get this in real quickly. Boy.
What's that, man?
The Packers, man.
Yeah, well,
Packers.
I felt like they would lose going in.
I was going to talk crazy to our upcoming guest, but I really can't because we lost.
Yeah, but you knew Jordy wasn't 100%.
Well,
and
that interception he threw, that was the backbreaker, man. Just go down, take the sack.
He did it once before.
Was he in? He wasn't in the end zone.
No, not this time. He wasn't.
Oh, man. Anyway, so
that pick six.
Oh, dude, it was just like, and at this point, there is just no coming back from it, man.
That's right before halftime. So
and then they got the ball coming out.
Right.
Well, okay. Well, those Cowboys got spanked yesterday.
Broke in Bobby's house, man.
How about that, man? Wow. And Bobby was on, and Bobby said, as much as I've done for this community, and then they had the audacity to do it when he was playing at Fiserv.
Wow.
Bobby,
they knew where he was.
Bob. I know they're not upset that the Bucs lost like 5 in a row. I mean, I don't think it's their record that got them.
No, Keith, it's not their record.
Okay, just some thieves out there,
some rogues.
Man, this would have been very interesting. Certainly, there are always these times. I miss Keon so much, but certainly for him to be here talking about his guy Quincy Jones, that was his guy, and we did everything. He'd go back and play the theme from Sanford and Son, and y'all did Back on the Block. But Quincy Jones, and the irony is Clarence Avant passed this year too. They were best friends. And as a matter of remember, I was telling you all about that movie Save the Children, right? That documentary with Clarence Avant. Quincy Jones appeared, but Clarence Avant was the producer. So, Quincy Jones, in terms of the impact that he's had on music, the folks that he's worked with, ironically, this is the 40th year anniversary of Thriller. And, he produced Off the Wall, which I think musically is Michael Jackson's best album musically. The most popular album, obviously, is Thriller. That's the greatest album of all time in terms of record sales. Secret Garden, man. That's wasn't that all the Back of the Block? The Elder Barge.
Yeah.
Who sang with Barry White?
Yeah.
That was just a great album. Back on the Block, and it won a Grammy as well as should have. But the people that he's worked with over the years.
Just look at the names that he worked with in that collab.
Sinatra.
We Are the World.
Oh, We Are the World.
Some hellified names in that.
There's another documentary I know y'all say out about the making of that video. Mm-hmm. And Stevie Wonder being Stevie Wonder, he's just a conscious brother. Stevie's conscious. Stevie's so conscious. So there's a chant in there, that African chant you hear. Stevie Wonder wanted that in there. Waylon Jennings was already upset that he was there. And then when they said
he went to the wrong place, didn't he?
No, he ended up, if you see the video, Waylon Jennings is there in terms of
somebody wasn't even supposed to be there. They just
showed up, right. I'm trying to think who that was.
And you recall, Michelle?
But Waylon Jennings said, "This is too much." He wasn't gonna be doing no African chant. Now he up in there with all those black folks. But now you're gonna have me doing no African chant.
Okay,
we are the world. How do you? And I don't think there's only one person who could come in and be the producer of that, and that had to be Quincy Jones. Bringing that wide array of artists with all the different, and seeing how they were trying to put it together and making sure that egos. I'm trying to think who it was that showed up, and they put that person in. God, who was it? They put him in.
They showed up, wasn't even supposed to be there.
Wasn't supposed to be there.
Went to the wrong address.
Okay, think.
Yeah, Quincy Jones.
He was managing a whole bunch on that day, though.
Oh man, that anytime that that you try to put together, you know this from a political piece where you got egos and now you got it's like herding cats. All right, look, everybody got 3 minutes, and boy, oh boy, then they're gonna get out, and if somebody got the crowd going, then somebody else is gonna come out behind that.
Somebody white, definitely. They was white.
Like at a funeral when it's like 5 pastors on the stage.
Oh, it ain't just pastors.
Who else? Who does it?
Oh man, you got the folks who don't get me started on funerals. Lord, it'd just be like, I know the person lived 80 years, but you're not gonna be able to share 80 years in 3 minutes. And so you get people up. But man, yeah, Quincy Jones, wow. That's
About the 2 minutes,
Catholic. I do the Catholic 2 minutes.
which is
Get up, do what you're supposed to do, and sit down. If you're supposed to read the scripture, read the scripture. Don't preach the scripture, read the scripture, sit down.
are you throwing lugs at somebody?
No, I would never do that. I ain't that kind of hater.
Are there rules about
Oh yeah,
about what
there's
type
some-
of hater?
there are general operating principles when it comes to being a hater. Oh yeah, I mean, they're
Well, I want to make sure they're employed on your upcoming interview. I just want to make y'all. I keep hitting around.
don't.
I'm not gonna tell it, but I'm hitting around.
There's a tease.
There is a big moment coming for Keith
For
Parris.
Scoop. For Scoop Parris.
There is a big moment.
Scoop newsworthy.
Scoop
Coming.
News. Thank you. Scoop Newsworthy.
When I tell you, if the Lord was trying to give me a Christmas present early,
Yeah.
I don't have to get nothing else for Christmas. Because to watch this Negro have to have his moments, I just want to say thank you, Jesus. Y'all, I cannot wait for this to happen.
I saw that.
You
text
will know what I'm talking about
saw
in
that
24
text
hours.
yesterday, and I'm going like, this has to be this just can't be. But
It
anyway,
is a
It
Christmas.
is.
The Lord knows I love Christmas.
But
And
I
it was
mean-
like, Michelle, I'm
But
about
this
to set
has
you
really
out.
this has really been a great Christmas for us in terms of politics
I
and
mean-
the national election. This has been Christmas.
Again, after 2016 and Hillary Clinton,
Do the
nobody will
crickets.
ever,
Do the crickets.
nobody will ever
You wanna
make
do
that
crickets?
mistake
Do the
again.
crickets. They just
I didn't get a single. I think I got one national interview her entire campaign, and that
I
was
had-
Erica Alexander.
right. I had zero.
One. I mean, it was the world. And like I said, we saw Robbie Mook, her campaign manager, in Minneapolis. We were there for something official, but then we all went to the club, and we, you know how that goes.
It was official.
At the club.
And we see her campaign manager in the club. And anybody that worked on the campaign know the last person you can really see is the campaign manager. It ain't gonna happen. And dude was just, letting his little hair down and just chopping it up and drinking some little drinks. And we all looked. And literally, somebody that was with me said, they're gonna F around and lose.
Mm.
This ain't how this go.
Well, and the fascinating piece was this morning, they just gave stats. Both campaigns have been in the state of Wisconsin 35 times.
Dude, Obama,
Yeah, he was.
and
cold
then
once. He was
the
cold
vice
once.
president.
He was cold.
Somebody's here again tonight. Is it Walls?
Walls and Eric Benet.
Yeah. I just thought I'd let you say that. Eric Benet.
Eric Benet.
You sounded all excited. Eric Benet.
Well, let's.
I
make
know
it-
Eric Benet need to be coming by this radio station. I know that. We need to get that set up.
All right.
Let me call the Democratic Party.
All right. We have on the line with us the Honorable Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, the 30th Congressional District there in the great state of Texas. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am cautiously optimistic.
I've been going back and forth. It's like I'm walking the floors on this. Everything seems to be moving in the right direction, but you don't know until it's over, how it's going to turn out.
Right.
Well, thank you for being part of the conversation. I know you are the national co-chair of the Harris Walls campaign. We were just commenting on just the number of interviews and conversations we've had with folks, because right now, Wisconsin being a swing state, it's real important that we have this conversation. I did a little research. Can I share a quote with you?
Sure.
And tell me who did this quote. See if it sounds familiar. Will a vindictive, vile villain violate voters' vision? You know who said that? Who they were talking about when they said that?
Yeah, it was me talking about Trump. That is for sure.
You are the queen of alliteration. Let me tell you, you man. And I see this quote, and this was taken from the DNC the first night. Do you see Trump as an existential threat to America?
I do. But, you know, when I talk about Trump and when I'm trying to get people that have kind of disengaged, I honestly don't think that that's the most persuasive point, even though it's obviously a huge deal.
Because it's an abstract for some folks?
I think it is.
Okay.
I think it is. And I think that there are certain people that are of the opinion that government has never really worked for them. So what difference does it make who's in the White House if they've never really felt like they've had an opportunity at that real American dream?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they're like, you know what? Life has been a struggle. Life is going to be a struggle no matter who it is. And so I'm out. And so I think it's more important to talk about the fact that we are in this tailspin right now, where we have been set ablaze by the Supreme Court, whether it's women's rights, whether it's diversity, equity, inclusion, whether we're talking about affirmative action, whether we're talking about, where this Supreme Court may take us next, right? Whether we're talking about the fact that every time you drop your kid off at school, they have been prepared for an active shooter, something that we never had to deal with when we were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to say we understand that the cost of food is high. And let me tell you that the Republicans are blocking the farm bill because they don't want to reauthorize $30 billion worth of SNAP benefits where people only get $6 a day to eat. I think it's important that we pull back the layers from the theoretical to the actual. And I explain what my actual fights look like when I'm sitting in Congress and how much worse it'll get if their leader is actually elected along with the Republicans, not just having the House, but also having the Senate.
In an interview you did in Forbes magazine, you discussed the challenges of women, in particular women of color, running for elective office. Is this one of the reasons why this race is so close?
Oh, I think there's a lot of reasons that this race is so close.
One of them.
Right. And I will say that it has nothing to do with qualifications. I've actually gotten off my talking points a number of times because I'm like, what are we doing here? You know, if Kamala Harris had as many baby daddies, as many marriages, as many felonies pending, as many felony convictions, as many civil cases pending, not able to operate a business in the state of New York, but somehow we are thinking that she would be qualified to operate the largest and biggest and best country in the world. It wouldn't be a case. This is it is insane. It is insane that people are challenging her qualifications and literally not looking at who's on the other side. That's what it is to honestly be Black in America a lot of times. That is what the affirmative action decision was always about. It was about making sure that you would at least open your eyes to talent other than white folk and see whether or not they measured up. It was never about giving us anything, because let me tell you something. Black people ain't never been given anything in this country. We've had to work for everything that we've ever gotten, and it's not been an exception for her.
When and I think, and we've talked about this on our program, our airways, where one of the most qualified people ever to run for president, Hillary Clinton, in 2016, it seemed that there was a segment, surprisingly women, who would reject that in favor of someone who Trump was bad in 2016. He is even worse now in 2024. What do you think that is?
Listen, I can't truly understand all the reasons, but I do believe that there's been a shift from 2016 to 2024 as it relates to women. We know that these polls have been all over the place, depending on who does what polling on what day. The numbers are all over the place. But the one thing that has remained consistent is that every single poll, no matter who does it, says that the support of women has skewed towards the vice president. And we know that when we look at the early returns, women have been outvoting men, I think, in every single battleground. And so those are numbers that we can be cautiously optimistic about. And I say cautious because I remember how I felt in 2016, where I was like, there's no way people are going to vote, especially women, for Donald Trump when he was talking about grabbing women and all this other kind of stuff. I was like, there's no way we got this in the bag.
Yeah. Well,
and that wasn't the case.
Well, my wife got up that morning because she had gone to bed. When she got up and she heard the results, she literally collapsed. And there was a lot going into that. And, we did the political analysis. We did the postmortem in terms of people just deciding not to vote. I think we did, which kind of leads me to what we're observing here, that there has been a very robust early voting absentee turnout here in Milwaukee, where almost a third of the eligible voters have already voted. What do you think is driving that enthusiasm?
Well, I will tell you that if we look at crowd size, I mean, the enthusiasm is only on one side. If we look at crowd size, but I will also tell you that it really goes to show you how hard the blue team has really worked. Yeah. When y'all brought me on, y'all were talking about that Governor Walz is going to be back there. Listen, for people that believe that this man is willing and ready to work for you, you can look at the campaign. Who's working harder to earn your support? It is absolutely the blue team. I can't tell you I can tell you the last time I was at home in my home district, even though I am on the ballot in Texas and have to be reelected, was on the first day of early voting, because I went and I cast my vote for myself. Mm-hmm. That is the last time that I have been home. I have been on the road consistently fighting and explaining to people that I can't get the relief that I need from my constituents in Texas. I got to get it through Philly. I got to get it through Milwaukee. I got to get it through Detroit. I got to get it through North Carolina, whether it's Charlotte or Atlanta, or I got to get it through everybody else. Because in January in Texas, they want to institute the death penalty for abortion. Mm. I need federal protection for my constituents. And so while I'm not physically in my district talking to my constituents fully understand that I am fighting with them in mind every single day, that I am traveling to these other states, begging and pleading with them. Even if you have protections such as Wisconsin, you decided to do the right thing and rise up and make sure that you had the right justice on that Supreme Court just 2 years ago. By double digits, y'all did that. But unfortunately, we didn't get Mandela Barnes across the finish line and give a little bit of extra cushion to the U.S. Senate. But you still have one of your senators that I need y'all to send back to D.C. because Kamala Harris can't do it by herself. She's going to need a great Senate and she's going to need a great House. And so you have so many great opportunities. I am counting on y'all. I know that seems like a lot of pressure, but that is how I feel every single day that I get up and I'm so tired because I haven't slept and I have to find that little boost of energy. I think about what is at stake, and I promise you, I am not asking you to engage in a fight that I myself am sitting on the sidelines for. I am right there in the midst of this fight with you.
We appreciate you taking the time. You're good with your Cowboys right now, right?
They don't play in Dallas, so I feel a way about them.
Oh, okay. Good answer. Yeah, we appreciate you and thank you for all the work. I know you spoke with my colleague, Miss Michelle Bryant. She's your soror, right?
She is my soror.
Yeah, and spoke to Debo. Okay. So appreciate you. Thank you for all the work, the effort that you put in. We appreciate you and we appreciate the work that you do. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, she's the national co-chair of the Harris Walz campaign. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. We have a caller on the line. Good morning.
Well, I can talk if you turn the music off.
Oh man, you directing the show too? Might be a reason why the music is playing while you talking. Did you ever think there might be some method to the madness? Well, good morning. How are you feeling this morning?
We both don't feel too good today, do we?
Did they lose?
Oh,
Did the Seahawks lose?
Seahawks?
Because I turned it off when they went into overtime.
Yeah, we lost with a final pass and he ran it in.
I couldn't talk crazy about anybody. For all my Cowboy fans, oh boy, they got spanked.
Oh boy,
Ooh,
dude, let me tell
the
you,
whole
Jerry
delegate.
Jones got to get rid of that. He got to go.
They sent a whole delegate. I'm not gonna say they sent, but they all went down this week and they flew out to Atlanta to go to the game.
Oh yeah, why
I
not?
said,
Oh.
y'all gonna be disappointed. And I
Well.
wasn't wrong.
I hope they got over
they
to
was
Magic City and
disappointed.
got some wings, made the trip worthwhile.
Tell me about it.
Get them some Lou wings over there. Yeah, some
Wait,
Lou
let me-
Williams lemon pepper wings.
Let me tell you what I just think, and I know I called specifically for you.
Okay.
Guess who's going to be playing the bio for George Clinton?
Who?
Eddie Murphy.
I can see that. I can
Eddie
see
good, though.
Yeah, Eddie Good. Eddie Good. Yeah, I can see that. Eddie Murphy is probably, everybody talks about his comedy, but he's a great actor. He's a great actor.
he did.
Was he in Sparkle? He was in Sparkle, right? Not Sparkle or the other one.
That was Sparkle, wasn't it?
Was it
No,
Sparkle?
that was Jamie Foxx and Sparkle.
Jamie
wasn't
Foxx, but he was in the
Yeah.
other movie about the singers.
What was it?
Cadillac
With Jennifer
Records.
Hudson.
With Jennifer
with
Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson in there.
it? That wasn't that Cadillac Records.
No. Cadillac.
No,
Records.
that was Dream Girls.
Dream Girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was good in Dream Girls. But Mike Epps was good.
Also, too, man.
And Sparkle.
We
Yeah. But anyway,
and our basketball team sucks right now.
who's
Yeah.
our?
Yeah. You
know what's happening with the bandwagon?
Wait,
Hey, wait a minute, dude.
Wait
a minute.
No,
They on the losing
no,
streak and they
no,
broke
no.
into Bobby Portis's house.
They broke into his house, man. He mad too.
Oh, he mad. Oh, he was mad. He been talking about it. All that I did for Milwaukee. I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Hey, it sounded like he want to bounce.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, because somebody broke in your house. I mean, people who live here, people break in our houses, and we ain't Bobby Portis.
Well, guess what? I guess we better tell Bobby because all the top players who play for the Bucks, they get broken into or get robbed.
That's the big dog.
That's big dog. Man, it's a couple people.
Every time I drive by that spot over there, it always stay. Even though that is Eastbrook Church,
Yeah,
Eastbrook is
Holy Ground
bought it.
coffee shop.
Is holy ground, but all I can think about is Big Dog. Why you wearing a rollie at Junior? Just explain it to me, and then think you gonna get robbed. I don't know.
Hey, matter of fact, I think they robbed. I can't think of the tall, light-skinned dude too. He was walking down the street. They took his stuff too.
How does that
Man,
happen?
they be robbing the Bucks, dude.
I don't know who that.
They be robbing them.
That wasn't Henson. No, Henson couldn't get into. Oh yeah, that made big story. But Bobby said, now he didn't say what valuables they took.
But he said he got a reward.
He got a reward.
Yeah, but where's this real kid?
I'm gonna turn Debo in.
Cameras. His cameras is bogus.
Get the
Did you see his black and white cameras? Come on, Bobby. You got to get some HD. Some 4K.
Could you get a sense of
surveillance he had?
the ethnicity of the people breaking in the house? Because they had all kind of equipment. These folks looked like they were doing like they were going to leave no DNA, right? Because you saw they had on look like hazmat suits and had a head flashlight on. These dudes knew what they were doing.
Ain't nobody listen. If they do take it, guess what? They're gonna call Bobby and say, "Bobby, we got your stuff. How much you want to give it?"
Right. But you know what? And in all seriousness, Bobby Portis has come. He's embraced Milwaukee. Milwaukee's embraced him. And then you got trifling folks who, just break into Bobby Portis's house.
Bogus.
He didn't say how much the reward was, though.
That's all I'm to tell you, though. Check that out.
Oh, and we mentioned this. And hey, Bears fans,
Rocking that purple. You rocking that purple?
man, but
Bears.
oh yeah. But them Cowboys got I think we got a problem. I don't know if we got a problem in Green Bay because Green Bay is playing in the best division, right, in football.
6-3?
You said the best division.
It is. In terms of winning record, it is. It is.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Chicago is 500. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but
we're almost back to the black and blue days, the NFC North.
And let me tell you, make sure you watch out for them Commanders.
Man,
shoot.
and I hate to do this because it's too early, but Detroit is a good football team.
They're going to implode.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. Did you see the dude yesterday though who walked in with "I hate Green Bay" T-shirt on?
Oh yeah, I seen that.
Did you see that?
Like, did you see Saquon Barkley?
Oh man! Oh my God!
Did you see that? A spin and a hurdle backwards.
Oh, that's Barry Sanders. Oh my God! That's all I could think was Barry Sanders, dude.
Yeah, but I ain't seen nobody hurdle nobody backwards though, fam.
Yeah, being able to do that, but you know what? Somebody could have lit him up. Somebody could have lit him up, man. But yeah, he's having a revival in terms of his career. And that's good for a running back. But
he telling New York Giants, forget you.
But here we go. You got to get to the end of the season. Okay.
Yeah, well,
he is injury prone. So he got to get to the end of the season. But him and even Jacobs here, when you look at them, they playing real well. But this is the first half of the season. Let's see, because as a running back, you just get worn down. And
what you think about Baltimore?
I love the city of Baltimore. I really do. I love the city of Baltimore. Baltimore is a lot like Milwaukee in a lot of different ways. I just love Baltimore. I don't know how to feel about the Ravens.
But their drugs is just as worse, though.
Oh yeah, they're still in the 90s.
It's bad
to that little piece, the drug piece there. But no, I mean it's they look good. I don't know what they're gonna do in the playoffs.
Yeah, they just can't get past KC, man.
Nobody can get past KC. I mean, it's not.
Well, we're gonna see tonight what Baker Mayfield do.
Yeah, but his two top receivers are not there. Because Evans is hurt, and I think Godwin is hurt too, right? Right. So, and the whole question was, well, I guess you got to play it out. Me and DJ was talking about this. Why was Godwin even in on that play? That game was pretty much over. But
why you put him in there?
Well, because you're a competitor, and that's what DJ was saying. I have to agree with that. The competitive part of you. I mean, if you've ever been an athlete and you've been hurt, you still want to be on the floor, even though you hurt.
Yeah, but guess what? Hey, you see what RG3 happened? He ain't doing nothing.
Right. He's in the booth now.
I don't hear him commentating at all no more.
Yeah, he does. I think he's still in the booth.
I haven't seen him. I finally seen Tom Brady get his little thing on, but
Tom Brady though was, I don't know how to, his voice, and unlike Tony Romo, we got used to Tony Romo. Tony Romo's a great
Romo. I hate Romo football game, but he can commentate a little better than what he.
Yeah, he could have applied that to his football career. Who knows? Maybe Dallas could have got a ring because he could never get him out the playoffs. So, but no, I think Tom Brady was. It was interesting the fact that he got the Packer game yesterday. And to hear him, and look, he just started, so let's be fair.
Yeah, but he ain't getting. I just started pay though.
Well, okay, I'm just saying. I hear you. I know pass. I ain't giving a pass. I'm just saying.
And before I get off this phone, I see one of your favorite quarterbacks was drunk driving last month.
Who that?
What's his name from the Bears? What the heck is his name? He's a quarterback.
Not Cutler.
What was that quarterback? Yeah, Cutler. Yes, it was. It was Cutler.
No.
Yeah, Cutler.
Not Jay Cutler.
Yeah, he was. He was drunk driving. He's still in Chicago.
Yeah, well, the Packers are weird. When we played the Bears and Jay Cutler was playing, we always knew we had a shot.
or at least a couple of interceptions.
Right. And now, man, it might be too soon. That's how I'm kind of feeling about Jordan Love. It's just like, dude, these are untimed. It's bad enough you throw an interception, right? The interceptions are never good unless, it's fourth and some you like doing it as a punt. But I don't know how he even thought he could. What? So this dude threw interceptions.
He couldn't see.
Well, then why are you throwing the ball if you can't see?
He was trying not to get sacked, man. He didn't want to lose the yardage.
Hey, okay, or get hurt again.
Or give up 7 points.
and
He
lose the
gave
game.
up 6.
Well, got
Oh,
kicked.
what?
Yeah,
Because he missed it. And the field goal kickers these days, they are trash.
No, but it's feast of famine.
Y'all,
It's feast of
yeah,
famine.
their weather was atrocious
Hey,
out there yesterday. We were playing under
Dallas.
high winds and rain, and there was a lot of elements that were going on out there.
Yeah, I mean Dallas, their
Yeah,
kicker
but-
is probably their best player right now. The field goal kicker, no, because that dude got range, and there's a couple of guys out there, man, that they could kick it. But yeah, yesterday was,
San Diego.
but yesterday
Who
was
can kick that ball?
just awful, man. It was, the weather was bad, and I think that by time you just can't make it up. They didn't have enough. They wouldn't have enough possessions to be able to make it up, and they're not that explosive. They being the Packers, I think they could have beat Detroit yesterday. But you don't give Detroit the game. They had 9 penalties in the first half. These penalties were all costly. You're not that
We had
good
like
that
80
you
yards
make it
worth
up.
of penalties.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. It was.
Jesus.
And then the best defensive player for Detroit gets kicked out the game, and the Packers
that was
still can't do
terrible.
anything.
That was terrible.
Yeah,
He
kick
shouldn't
him
be
out.
kicked out the game,
Yes, he
man.
should have. Come on, man.
No. Oh, you said it because he played the Packers, man. That wasn't that bad.
What do you mean it wasn't that bad? Was it a
wasn't
blow
that
to the
bad.
head? It looked that bad to me.
Well,
And,
how many times?
and I love the way that he just laid on the field like he had just been, run over by a truck. That's what soccer players do. You ever see soccer players? You breathe on them, they go down. It's just like they go down.
They are real floppers. The men's soccer players.
Men, women too. They all you learn this in Europe. You go down and you see it with the European basketball players, right? When you get fouled, act like they killed you.
Man, they act like you killed them. They got to get put up on the stretcher with 2 dudes.
And why did the NBA have to go to an anti no flopping rule? Because of European players.
Man, it's terrible. Well, LeBron is the king of it, but I think he got it from John Starks because he did it all the time too.
Okay. All right, man. So
All right, I'll catch you, Keith.
all right, man. Tough weekend. It was a tough weekend, but this too will pass. All right, man. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. Again, this is a tough year, man. This is just in terms of people passing, but as Trump always says, people died who never died before. And let me such a deep
I
observation.
won't say how poetic.
Yes, I mean, boy, you talk about the guy did go to University of Pennsylvania, so I mean, that's an Ivy League school, so his money wasn't wasted.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, and I don't even know if he was actually going to class or he had somebody else going to class. I saw a little blurb. It was down in Texas. They have gone in and certified teachers, but the teachers didn't take the licensing exam. They paid somebody else to go in and take their licensing exam in order for them to get the license. And now they were saying that these teachers, there's about 100 of them, are spread out throughout Texas in terms of different schools that they're at, because they sent someone down. I don't know how to feel about, cheating. Well, I don't like cheating. But the idea that you have someone who is an educator but cannot demonstrate competency when it comes to pedagogy, which is teaching. Wow, they paid somebody to go in and took the test so they could be licensed to teach. And then we wonder why our educational systems sometimes are struggling.
27th and Howard school bus crash.
Oh, I was coming into work, and I came down 35th Street, and I don't know if the woman was pushed into, but she hit a stoplight right at the corner of 35th and Lisbon. You know where that store is on the corner?
35th and Lisbon.
Right.
Yeah.
Right there on the corner. And she was there.
Used to be called Supreme Foods or something like that.
Yeah.
Right on that corner. Yeah.
Right there on the corner. So, oh man, look, the sun is coming out.
It's supposed to rain more this afternoon, though.
Yeah. And it's really nice
How
out.
are
It
you
feels good.
faring? And I get it that it's only second day. How are you faring with daylight savings time?
That's one of the reasons why the boss got a text this morning at 4:30 in the morning, because I'm still and I'm still trying to get back to where I was. But no, I mean, it's gonna get darker. I think that's what I really don't like. At the summertime, it's you just got more daylight.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be moving around in the dark. So that's how I'm feeling. Anyway, let me again, and thank you, Michelle, for the compliment. It was at the Black and White Ball.
You're speaking in regards to your attire.
And my fit. Yep.
I heard you were suited and booted.
Man, I got real lucky on that. In terms of, and it really, maybe I look so much better because my wife looks so great.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. Speaking of which, I noticed a text message on my phone that says, "Don't let Keith get you cut."
From
my wife. Something we were talking about last week.
On her birthday.
Oh.
And Keith, and don't cut me, Jackie, because I was trying to stop him. That's what I was going to say, because I was trying to stop him. And he just kept going. I kept looking like.
You know what you be doing.
Like Debo.
You set me up. You know I'm going to go there.
You don't have to, though.
I have the self-control to just stop. And you know it, so that's why you put that kind of stuff. You started off
going on about it was her birthday because she's born on Halloween, right?
Right.
You going on about that?
And you don't have to relive it. We don't have to bring it. See, there you go. I almost went to let you finish. Would have opened a whole nother lane of traffic. I
learned how to not to talk crazy about my wife on the air, because she'll be blowing the text up right during the program. Don't come home. Don't come home.
Oh, yeah, I got that one during the show. Don't let Keith get you cut. Right.
I got a buddy, and we be talking, and he be kind of suggesting, "Yeah, man, why don't you go in there and say this to your wife?" I'm like, "You gonna let me stay in your basement? Did you give me all this advice about how I need to be strong with my wife?" Okay, all right. And there's been some dudes out there that let their buddies talk them in. And look, I can't talk for you, Debo Carver. You young to the game, but I can tell you what my record is in terms of fighting women. I've never won a fight with a woman. Ever.
You're not gonna win an argument either.
Oh man, ever. It started with my mama. And it's been like that ever since, man. I mean, and brothers, I don't know why y'all keep going. It's like the dudes who come after Michelle. What are you thinking?
They're not.
They can't be. And I'm sure you was probably up all night figuring out what you gonna do, what you gonna say. You worked it, you rehearsed it, videotaped it, looked at the rehearsal tape. Oh man, I'm ready for it. And you call in, and what she do? She wear you out. She tell you a whole new one.
You know who that sounds like? Meech. Like,
I ain't calling on Meech.
I'm gonna hit her with this one next time.
Oh man.
And then I'm gonna take her there.
And guess what?
He's an offer.
And look, she'd have had to fight all her life. She'd have to fight her brothers. She'd have to fight her uncles. All her life.
I know you thought she left, but she's back.
I know.
She came back, so be careful. She did leave, but she doubled back. Like my grandmama used to say, every eye closed ain't sleep, and every goodbye ain't gone.
And my eyes ain't closed when you praying.
I'm telling you now, be careful.
Man, but anyway, great time. Get a chance to see folks. And let me shout out the artwork from the Greenwood Gallery.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they had incredible artwork there.
Yeah, they advertised with us here. Over on Fond du Lac Avenue.
He did some work for me. He did
Fred.
some great work. For me.
Really?
Yeah.
Some framing stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was beautiful. So that was great. I heard Eddie Butts. And Eddie Butts is always great to hear Eddie Butts. But no, it was.
I thought they had what's her name?
Shantae Moore. Yeah.
Shantae Moore.
Mm-hmm.
They had Eddie Butts as well.
Eddie Butts played before dinner, and then he did the after set, and she was the entertainment. So it was good. Got a chance to see some folks. Let me shout out my guys, OG, Triple OG, Ben Johnson, Mac Weddle, Lamar
course.
Franklin.
Of course.
Oh man, Triple OG. We parked right next to him. I said, baby, they go. And those dudes, I love those brothers, man, because those brothers, they embrace me, and so that means a lot to me when I got dudes like that, like old school brothers like that.
Was a good doctor there.
Dr.
Howard Fuller.
I didn't see Dr. Fuller. But yeah, it was. Sorry about this, man. My sinuses and my allergies. But yeah, it was it was a great event. Beautiful. Oh my God. The some of the dresses you saw. Oh man, it was just incredible to see us really dressed up. That's 2 weeks in a row for us. And
what was the week prior that you were dressed up?
2 weeks for that one formal, but we were dressed up for the NAACP Freedom Fund dinner. And so we got a chance. But no, saw some great tucks. I got some great ideas if I get to go next year in terms of what I'm going to look at in terms of tuxedos. But no, the women, oh my God. It was just to see just how, I mean, when Black women do it, Black women bring it.
Yeah. How was service on yesterday?
Service was good yesterday.
Yeah, I tried to get there. Michelle kept calling, so I decided I wasn't going to church.
But y'all working, man. You're actually.
Yeah, we worked yesterday. I certainly did. She did as well. Then I understand you're gonna be doing some work too.
I am. Let me. I am.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, I'm gonna be just like Michelle. I'm gonna be listening attentively.
Here's what I'm learning, and I haven't learned the lesson well enough yet. Sometimes you should just stop talking. My good friend, the late Bobby Crimes, used to call me June when I was being stupid. He said, June, you need to learn when to shut the up. Because you couldn't get me to not believe that I was the smartest guy in the room, and therefore I had an opinion that should be valued and respected. And finally, somebody told me in the meeting one time, they said, Keith, if we wanted your opinion, we'd give it to you.
That part.
That
part right there.
I was like,
we give you your opinion.
We'll give you your opinion. Like it's like kids, talking about business. You ain't got no business when you're a child. I mean, really, tell Gary to stay out my business. My mama said, you ain't got no business. You ain't old enough to have no business. Again, let me kind of circle back. Again, what Michelle was saying in terms of I have consciously, and it's almost been like part of my habitual behavior. I purposely drive past 60th and Capitol when they were still doing early voting. And no matter what time of the day I went, there was always a line outside the door. And so let me say, now we're about 9% ahead of where we were in 2020. Okay, someone just texted me about Howard Fuller's conversation with Roland Martin. Boy, Roland Martin. Now, the thing I like about Roland Martin is that not only is he's a very insightful brother, but he's a provocative brother. And what I mean by that is that Roland Martin tells folks sometimes you need to get outside the margins, and he holds people accountable. And that I appreciate for him. Texas A&M Aggie, always fascinated with how people get to the colleges that they got to. But yeah, he's a Texas. But no, this brother has been on point. He is fearless. He will, like I said, I just so much respect for Roland Martin. And the chances I've got a chance, I think it was last year before last, he was here for the Business Council. I think Michelle emceed that program. Roland Martin, didn't you do Roland Martin at the Business Council?
Is the mic on? Oh, it is. Oh, I like sitting back here.
Got a new engineer.
Oh my goodness. Wait. I like sitting back here. I hate this chair, but I like it. No, I just did the welcome at the business council. I didn't
The one he was at?
Yes.
Who did the
What's his name's wife who used to be over the African American Chamber of Commerce? What was the brother's name? He moved. I can see his face. I can't think of his name. He used to be over the African American Chamber of Commerce though, before we got the sister we have now.
Oh. Well, I work with the other chamber.
Yeah. And so,
no clue what they doing in that chamber because I work with the other chamber.
And Roland was being a hot mess to your point about being a provocateur.
Oh man, he's a provocateur, man.
Yeah, and he because they was like, bro, we need to rap, and he just kept going. He's like, I was like, ooh, should have been me.
But I think that
if you don't stop right now.
Yeah, and I think you two share that quality, and I said that in a positive way, that you provoke people to think, or you move people off their comfort squares. And that is, we need folks like that because we get real comfortable in our little position thinking that we about this and it going like, you ain't did nothing.
Well, I mean, I'm going to tell you, I was there at that discussion, that interview that from the TikTok clip that has gone viral was done down at G's Clippers. Mm-hmm. And when I said
the clip with Dr. Howard Fuller.
With Dr. Howard Fuller, yes. And so I was on a panel, I think, before Howard
like
Fuller.
18 panels down there, didn't you?
Dude, I mean, he was rolling them in and out, though. I think they were only 15 minutes, but it seemed like forever. But he did 5 different panels. And, you know, Dr. Fuller, like, he just straight no chaser, you know, and he said what he had to say. I was smiling because it was one of the things, because he said, I am a single issue voter. And, you know, I always talk about, I don't have the luxury of being a single issue voter. Mm-hmm. And in his clip, he says, my single issue is Donald Trump, you know, and I couldn't help but kind of laugh about it when it was put that way. But yeah, like you could hear a pin drop in the room when Dr. Fuller started talking. And it's just like, you realize it's an elder speaking and he just kind of move around, but somebody that also has receipts for being out here in the community. But
well, you know, one of the things that has certain parts of our community,
I like sitting back here.
Certain parts of our community divided. Yeah. Okay.
I thought this was my coffee. I was about to take it. Now I got to do an interview. I'm getting ready to do an interview.
Okay, so y'all want to do y'all gonna do a production conversation right here in the middle of my program?
Dude,
nobody care about you.
You ain't talking about.
Nobody care about you being on the Voice of the Negro in Chicago.
I am getting ready to be over at the sister station, VON in Chicago, doing a 10 o'clock interview. Something about the Black. I just posted on my Facebook page.
Okay.
But we won't be broken as Black women in this whole election cycle.
Well, I'm so glad they offer brothers.
Nicole Hannah, did you reference her piece that she wrote? No. Nicole Hannah Jones did a piece, and she basically like, hey, y'all gonna get up off bruhs and start talking about these, you know, other folks.
Well, the damage been done now. Our little feelings are hurt.
Really? Really?
Yeah, man. It was like
more couch hoppers, I see.
Yeah, man. It was just like, but you know, that's the other piece. And then this is anecdotal. This is not empirical in terms of research.
What does it mean?
Anecdotal is just my observation.
Empirical.
Empirical means that it has been researched. We put all the methodology in there to come out to the numbers. When I first did a program, I had a listener, and I said empirical, and he emailed me saying, "Your listeners don't know what empirical means." I said, "Well, there's no different than me. I don't know what it means. I'm just dropping it.
But the reality is that, in fact, more listeners do know than don't. I just simply put it out there because I know we have young people, even though they should be in school right now. But depending on where you are, I know that there are other people listening, but they don't underestimate or sleep on our listeners. I know a lot of them know what it means.
Yeah, no, of course they do.
Of course.
But just driving by, again, 6th and Capitol, I saw equal number of men in line.
Oh, for sure. When I went to vote, it was plenty of bros in line.
So that idea, and I thank Dr. Eric Michael Dyson for saying that we kind of got distracted. And it's ironic you were talking to the president of NAACP because it was their poll that precipitated all that.
Well, it was already happening, but it elevated it. Yeah, it's certainly.
So when that poll came out, and we was going like, and what that number was up to like 50% or something like that. It was a high number.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, because if you talk about 10%, even in a marginal election, you can eat 10%, but now you start talking 20, 30%, that in a marginal election, that is significant.
And I'm gonna tell you, without even having access to the full polling that they did, I keep referencing it. Just the text messaging program that we did here in Wisconsin from the NAACP, 80,000 Black voters touched. Man, some of them responses coming back. When I tell you, my eyes was wide open at the number of people. Trump all the way, Trump forever. I'm not voting for who you think I'm voting for. And I'm like, we nonpartisan, y'all. We just want to know that you voting. Trump. Yeah, some of it made me step back. Now, I mean, Harris still killed him, but I wasn't expecting that number. So, yeah, I understood how that poll set off some fire alarms.
Art Buchwald said this many years ago. I used to love reading Art Buchwald. He said, why wouldn't you want to be a Black Republican? He said, because when you're a Black Republican, you might be the only Black person in the room and everybody's paying attention to you. I go to the Dems, 40% of the room. So, and the point I'm making is that's why you saw Black men on television talking about their support for Trump, because
and Black
it gets
women
them,
now.
yeah, but it gets you on television.
Yeah. And I said that the other day. And I just want to shout out to my friend Latoya Sykes, who said her 3-year-old nephew listens to the program and was walking around the house, and she asked him a question, and he said, yeah, insecure Black Negroes.
Out of the mouths of babes.
He had
Out
been
of the
listening
mouths of babes.
on the day when I was talking about why these Black folks is Republicans. And he literally repeated what I said.
Was the reason why Kennedy knows so much about Donald Trump and probably learned how to cuss.
Great role model. Great role model.
What? I just
insecure Negroes.
insecure.
But Rhonda, every time Trump would come on, Rhonda would say dumb. That Rhonda dropping the F-bomb.
The preacher's wife did not drop the F-bomb.
Oh my God.
Please, let's not.
And little Kennedy. So even now, you can show Kennedy a picture of Trump. She know Donald Trump.
Somebody just told me that their grandchild said, when they said something about Trump. Oh, some people told me this yesterday. They said, I mentioned Donald Trump's and my granddaughter, Donald Trump's name, and my granddaughter came up and said, Nana, that's a bad word. It was serious as a heart attack.
Oh, yeah.
Bad word.
I think we're getting it. You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
106.5 FM, WNOV, The Voice.
All right, welcome back to Community Voice Caller. Welcome to the program. Good morning.
Yes, Keith. I know that the big thing is about this election on the federal level.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I just said is I think it's going to have more control in people's life if the local issues, especially when they're changing things in the Constitution or whatever they have on the city or state local. It's just my opinion, because as far as I'm concerned, the president can change some things, but all your major decisions, all politics is local, I've been told. Are you really going to be made at the local level as far as what's going to really impact most people, especially black folks? I don't know if you agree or disagree with that, my opinion or anything.
Yeah, I do agree. Tip O'Neill was famous for saying that all politics is local. And we only do 4 years, every 4 years, where we're looking at national elections. So it really is. A lot of the stuff happens on a local level. And everything from your judges, school board, your alderpersons or city council members, county board members, state reps, state senators. Those are the most elementary levels of political involvement there on the local level.
Those are the ones that have more impact on you as far as
right.
your life, as far as being a black person or being a woman or anything.
But I do think that the presidential election becomes important too, because it does show, barring unforeseen circumstances, what the agenda of that administration is going to be and how that agenda might impact on me personally. So when people say it doesn't, but yeah, it does. I think, I don't know if you heard Representative Crockett talk about how the Republicans right now are stalling the farm bill. Well, part of the farm bill is SNAP benefits and the number of people who depend on SNAP food stamps, for example. So there are policies there that impact us. And certainly for descendants of enslaved Africans, because of our relationship with government, particularly federal government, who's in office does make a difference in terms of what your daily life might look like.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, when I speak to a lot of people, they something. They had an idea who the president is, but as their local, what they're saying is their local election is they're the ones deciding. They're the ones who are doing things locally, because the president, I mean, he can't know what's really going on across the country. Because I can tell you this, like Elijah McClain. I mean, you heard about him, but you never heard them mention him once a person who wound up killing Elijah McClain. I think he got 5 years probation, but you did hear about the Sandra Bland. You heard about the one in Illinois. You heard more about that, but you never heard about the
Laquan McDonald.
No, the female in Springfield.
Oh, I didn't know about the Springs. Okay.
Oh, you didn't know the Springfield one? She was a lady that was mentally ill, and she says in the name of Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that was Springfield. Okay. No, I didn't. I think, but they're like, for example, if the DA and the Attorney General in Minneapolis and even the mayor had taken a different tack where they would have reflectively supported the police officers in the George Floyd situation, I think the political consequences would have been such that people would have tried to run somebody against them. I think they understood that, and it was also the right thing to do. In other situations, you find, for example, you talk about the Attorney General in Kentucky, who was what's my lady's name? Breonna
Taylor.
Breonna Taylor, and how this Republican, who happened to be a descendant of an enslaved African, said that there was nothing here to see, that the police were perfectly right in what they did, to the point that now the federal government is going to charge or prosecute I know at least one cop on violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights. But in a state like that, where it's Republican controlled, what do? What impact do you
What
have?
about the one in Colorado with the Elijah McClain thing? I mean, nothing. The federal government didn't do anything for as far as bringing any charges against that paramedic.
Right.
Is that different?
But the paramedic was charged. Now, how justice was dispensed seems to be the because he was charged, tried, and convicted. Correct.
Correct.
Right.
But
And so now it comes down to the judge. So if
international
people,
firefighters,
right. But if
came
they're
back there and
dissatisfied
they
with the
fought for
judge who made that decision, and I don't know if judges are elected in Colorado, then you
They
run to
are.
vote this guy out because he's not acting
Okay.
in certainly in a portion of the community's interest.
he's in a different county too.
Okay. So they brought
He's
someone.
in Adams County.
Okay. Okay.
They have three. They have three counties in Aurora. There's Aurora. There's Arapahoe, Adams, and there's Douglas County.
Okay. So whoever that judge was, so you're saying because it was Adams County, that community would not have any impact on whether or not that judge was reelected?
Yeah, but I said, and if you know anything about Aurora, most of the black people in Aurora live in. They have some in Adams County, but the vast majority live in Arapahoe County.
Okay.
And they live in. Then the next one would be Douglas County.
Okay.
And Douglas County leans Republican, but thing about Adams County is about 41% Hispanic.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, and kind of as an aside to this, they just released a poll in Iowa showing that Kamala Harris was up 3 points. Donald Trump won Iowa in 20, but she's competitive. And this is what I was saying to Representative Crockett, that, the polling is everywhere. We do not have access to the internal polling that they do and the internal data that they do, but that the campaigns have. But from what you're seeing, it seems to be many of the trends are kind of trending towards Harris. The question is going to be here, like in Milwaukee, what that walk-up vote is going to be, because early voting has ended. And so let's see what that looks like in terms of people walking up and voting. And then how many people are going to, hopefully they need to get those ballots in the mailbox, because I think they have to be received by election day in order to be counted here in Wisconsin. Sure. So we'll see. But again, the early voting turnouts have been they've been large. 2020 was a big election in terms of participation. We're 9% ahead of where we were in 2020, and 2020 was a COVID year. So a lot of people voted absentee because of COVID. So we'll see.
One last thing. Somebody was saying, I remember some people were chuckling. I remember saying this some guy was chuckling. He said they were talking about Wisconsin, mostly white, but they were talking about they had this small minority black population in Milwaukee, and they were going to be deciders. And the guy was chuckling about talking about the black folks in Milwaukee. They're going to make the decision by 20 or 30,000.
Yeah, I think, and Biden won by 20,000 in 2020. Trump won by 22,000 in the city of Milwaukee in 2016. Well, statewide, he won by 22,000 votes. So whatever the situation was, and I think that's why black voters and black men in particular were getting a bad rap about this, because there were people. And look, everybody ain't going to be down with your candidate. This idea that, again, and I don't want to sound just repetitive, but, we're not a monolith. But
that's a good thing to hear.
But I would say that, if you're looking at, it looks like the numbers are moving towards where they were with Biden in 2020 in terms of support of Kamala Harris. So if you're from that school, don't know what it's looking like, even though it seems to be robust turnout, or there was robust turnout throughout the state. This country is equally divided. And
I can tell.
And
What about the Hispanic votes? Are they going to make a difference? Or
I
they
think
keep
depending
talking
on where
about
you
black
are, if you can ask Mr. Allred down in Representative Allred, who's running against Ted Cruz in Texas, that Hispanic vote will really matter because they're a significant minority there in the state of Texas. The last polling I
41%.
saw was that Ted Cruz is up by 3 points. Now, chances are Ted Cruz could probably win that race, but the fact that he's only up by 3 points in what used to be considered a red state shows that these population trends, I think that's what's impacting Georgia, that the population of people moving into Georgia are people who will be more likely to be supportive of Democratic candidates for a lot of different reasons. The key to the vote is going to be where white women are.
Let me ask you another question, Keith.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had a recommendation, and they were saying, how we can get more black people involved. I mean, how we get more black people elected as far as senators, congresspersons, governors. And all the black people, we got 50 million black folks. This say 15 million black people left where they are, and they moved to these 5 states. That would be 3 million per state, maybe 4 million per state.
Mm-hmm.
And he said we could change the outcome of those elections. But somebody said, that's just bad thinking. This guy what's his name? This guy Darnell Parker, he does financial advice, and you probably have heard of this guy. Dr. Claude Anderson said the same thing. Some other black people have said the same thing.
Claude Anderson, though, he's is he conservative? Isn't he?
No, he's not really. He's more he's an economist.
Right.
He's married down to Jimmy Carter, but he was the one talking about the 5 states. Some other people talk about the 5 states, and there's when they could turn Georgia. We could have so that one black senator in Georgia. We can have 2. Same thing they said about Mississippi, but I don't know about some of these states. I mean, it's
interesting you mentioned Georgia because Warnock is up, I think, in 2 years, either 2 years or 4 years. But we'll see where the country is at that point and where Georgia is in terms of the movement, the population movements. You do have a lot of people from the north moving to the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt states are looking at incredible growth. A lot of them are saying because of the weather, only to find out that the weather is a little bit more extreme than they're used to in Milwaukee. Because people talk about going down, getting the heat, and just how it was. I think in Phoenix, we have a caller who calls from Phoenix regularly. They had 30 plus consecutive days of 100 plus. That, even for Arizona, that's hot. Yeah, and so there are people moving down there only to find out that, oh man. There used to be a saying, the grass always seems greener on the other side, but when you turn it over, it's still dirt. And wherever you go, there's weather, and usually some extreme weather. I think that maybe what the exception would be San Diego, in terms of, the perfect climate, but you pay to live in San Diego because of that climate. So I agree with you.
Yeah, but I'm saying is all these, with 15 million black people moved to these 5 states. Will that really make an outcome in Mississippi, Louisiana?
Well, not maybe so much in Mississippi, but states like Georgia, it would make Texas.
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Well, Tennessee though, Tennessee and Kentucky, surprisingly, you would think that there's really, really large black populations there, but relatively speaking, it isn't. You have the population centers, Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville, and maybe a little bit certainly down in Chattanooga. But then when you get out in some of the rural areas, because my folks are from a rural part of Tennessee, but no, I think that those states like Tennessee, Mississippi, and then with their gerrymandering, it makes it even difficult to flip a state like that because they've just locked it up right this way. They locked it up red.
And they just change it if all these black people move there and from the north.
But it depends on where they move.
I
mean, if you move into an urban area, part of people being in urban areas is that it could dilute the black vote because the black vote is all concentrated, and depending on how they draw the congressional districts, then, what influence do you have? Part of the gerrymandering here in Milwaukee, and I was victimized by it was when we first moved into our neighborhood. We were part of a district that included parts of Milwaukee, Wauwatosa, West Milwaukee, West Dallas. When they came in and gerrymandered it, they moved us back into the city of Milwaukee, and then and then created a very conservative district right on the other side, which included parts of Wauwatosa. So, and then finally now, because of litigation, Wisconsin State Supreme Court has said that the maps were illegal. They violated the Constitution, and so they had to redraw the maps. And it looks like, though, you won't see it. It'll take a couple of election cycles where you begin to see the impact of those redrawn maps in terms of the legislature not being ultra red, but Democrats will have more seats both in the Senate and in the legislature. So, all right, man.
How about you yourself? One last question, and honestly, would you ever think about you talk about your wife being from Florida? Would you ever think about moving to Florida or Georgia or Mississippi or Tennessee?
It depends. The problem I have with Florida is it's too damn hot.
Okay.
And though I love it, I love to go down, certainly be in Miami, with Rhonda's folks. But it's just hot, man. I just, the thing about Milwaukee is at least we get 4 seasons, some longer than others, but we get 4 seasons. And then my very Cancerian nature is my home is my home. It's hard to get me to move from one spot to another spot once I've gotten comfortable. But for the first time this past winter, I thought about maybe we should think about relocating. I had not had that thought in many, many years. So.
Really, Tennessee or Mississippi?
Well, we have people in Tennessee. Mississippi, I visited, but I don't know if I want to live in the great state of Mississippi.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Mongrel race. We'll take a quick break. Appreciate you, man. You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. See, that happens all the time.
You gonna make it?
I sat through the whole break, didn't die. Died as soon as you turn the light on. Here we go. We back. So we're back. 414-444-5250. 414-444-5250. I don't know what to expect tomorrow. From and don't want to put a damper on it. But tomorrow is supposed to be inclement day. And so when people go out tomorrow, it's going to rain. It's going to be windy. I think that maybe people were taking heed. That's why so many people either mailed in their ballots or went and voted in person. But I don't think that the weather is going to dampen people showing up to vote. We saw it with the primary in August, where it had been the biggest voter turnout in 40 years, and that was for a primary. And so there's an indicator there. When you're looking at the national polling right now, they are. I don't understand it. I don't understand why it's so close, but right now it's neck and neck, and so we'll see how they're trending and what that trend is looking like in terms of. So we can expect the line. Again, if you're voting late tomorrow, let's say you get to the polls, as long as you're in line, you have to be in line by 8:00, right? So 7:59, you need to be in line. If you're in line, you still will be allowed to vote. If you join the queue after that, then there could be there might be an issue. So make sure you get out, as they say, make a plan. If you can, vote early. And tomorrow, I will be traveling to different polling places just to see what the level of activity is in terms of people showing up to vote. Again, a third of the eligible voters have already voted. And so then there are a lot of people like to vote on election day. And we'll see what it looks like. We'll see what it looks like throughout the country because Wisconsin, obviously being a swing state, but let's see what it looks like in Georgia, North Carolina. North Carolina, we'll see what it looks like. What up, Jay? What's happening, man? I'm just waiting on my next interview coming up, man. Yeah. Okay, so it's the weather. It feels great, man. It feels great. Mike Policy.
What?
What's up? How was your weekend, man?
Oh man, it was great, man. It was great, man.
We didn't have to print any T-shirts and raise any bail money. So.
Nah, man. Hey, man, I didn't
free
bust head to the white meat. So
free Jermaine.
Church musician bust head to the white meat. Nah, man, I
bust pastor's head to the white man.
Hey, no, man, I can't do pastors, man. You know,
Pastors be playing with your money sometimes.
Nah, man, not to where I'm at. We good.
Man, people were calling me after the program Friday. They said, "Man, y'all was heated up in there." I said, "Yeah, dude took it to a
man. I had to leave. Elvis left the building.
Elvis left the building.
I left the building.
Oh, that's right. I got to work. Had to come
right. Like, wait a minute. I got a job to do.
That's right. I'm running the board. That's right. I'm running the board.
I'm running the board. What?
I almost let boy DJ almost ran me up out of here, man. Said, brother.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, but it
was, but you know how passionate we are. How passionate we are about sports and our team.
Yeah.
Is that her? Yeah, let's go. Good morning. We're joined online by Miss.
Sure she's there.
Hello. Good morning.
She said she had to join her in.
So
Good morning. We're joined on the line by Miss Wanda Sykes. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Oh God, it's great to hear your voice. You have a ubiquitous voice. God, I mean, I go back with your voice. It's just like, wow. It's great to have you on. You know, we do research when we talk to the different folks and have conversations. And you know, it's really interesting our life journey. I would have never, ever thought that you worked for the National Security Agency.
Yes.
5 years.
Absolutely.
Now I know because your dad was military and your mom worked as a banker. How did you get to NSA?
Well, I think it's pretty much by association, and also basically I lived in the area. You know, when you grow up in the DMV in that area, you I'm getting an echo.
Let me bring him down a little bit. You okay?
Yeah.
If you bring the phone down, maybe the volume a little bit down on your phone too. That'll help. Yep.
Okay.
Is that better?
That's better.
All right.
Thank you. But yeah, but when you live in that area, you know, you end up either working for the government or a contractor, or a government contractor. So, you know, once I graduated from Hampton University and headed back home, I applied to the NSA and I got my security clearance, and that's where I was working. Yeah.
Wow. And you kind of went to like an open mic and the rest is history.
That's right. Yeah, I was there for like 5-6 years, and I just felt like, ooh, this is great. We're doing amazing work here, very important work, but I feel like I need to be doing something else. And that's when I went out and did some stand up, and everything just made sense to me then.
You know, in the movie History of the World Part 1, Mel Brooks is performing at Caesar's Palace, and he calls himself a stand-up philosopher. And when you think about many of the comedians, I think of you. I think of people like Dick Gregory. The observation in terms of that activism, where you're observing and then giving critique to what it is that's going on in society. And so I guess it's more than a question, right? But so how do you, I mean, you look at that now, your activism, how did you get to the point that you became an activist?
You know, I talk about what concerns me. Okay. You know, so I think it's like just kind of like just by default, because of what I'm interested in, and you know, I care about people. I love this country, and it's funny you mentioned, you brought up NSA, because I remember when Trump first announced his campaign, he was going to get in the race. I said, "There's no way in the world this man is going to get a security clearance." Like how can he get? You know, I was like, he's in debt, and he's in debt, and he owes money to foreign, not our allies. How is he going to get a clearance? So I've always had concern. I knew that he would be easily compromised. But yeah, I think I just like to talk about real issues and what's bothering me, you know, and I try to use my platform for people who don't have a platform, people who don't have a voice.
Your positions. I bring this up because I don't know why I'm being very naive. I thought we had moved on from this point. As you know, our U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin is a gay woman, and the last two election cycles, her sexual orientation was never an issue. It is an issue this time around, either directly or indirectly. When we begin to look at the issues, particularly facing LGBTQ people, and then LGBTQ people of color in this country, you know, you're speaking out, I think, becomes real important, because I was just amazed at the level of homophobia we're still dealing with in this country.
Yes. Yeah. And you know, and it's also when Barack Obama was elected, we thought oh boy, we've turned the page. It seems like now everything, like I said, they're going backwards. It's they've now had to have permission to bring all this junk back and to have all these isms, and be homophobic and transphobic and racist and misogynist and it's sexist. They've been given a permission that this is okay. And that's why we're hearing about it. We were at a place where there was like some social norm where we kind of all agreed, like, hey, this isn't right. So let's go down this road. Let's try to treat each other with at least some decorum, and now that has just gone out the window. I mean, when you have, a former president talking about shooting in the press and shooting Liz Cheney and, I don't even want to talk about what he did with the microphone. It's like, my God, it's so embarrassing because the world is watching this. You know what I'm saying? It is so embarrassing, man.
Well, but I've asked everybody this question. With all that we know, why is this race so damn close? Hello?
Oh, I know. It drives you nuts, right?
Right.
Because and what's the answer? What is the answer? Why is it so? Here's the thing. I think it's fear. I think it's fear. And, my mother said something once, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But now that I look at it, it's very wise and pretty, deep what she said. We lived in Virginia, grew up in Virginia. And when my dad retired from the Army, they moved back to Virginia and they bought a house on the water, and it was a, nice house. And my aunts and stuff, they came over to check out the house. And they would all, say like, "Ooh, I used to clean that house over there, and so-and-so used to work in that house over there." And my mother, it was still the first Black family on this street. Mm-hmm. And my mother said, I kind of feel sorry for these white people. And I'm like, what do you mean feel sorry for? She said, well, I know they look at us and, and look at us like we used to clean and now we living next door to them. That must be scary to them. Mm. And I was like, she say something like that. And me all like, damn, I don't care. They gotta get used to it. This is, fuck that. Me, I'm ready to put a statue out in front of the house, a king and Rosa Parks. I'm ready to.
They'll get used to it.
Right, yeah. I'm ready. I'm like, they'll get used to it. But I think she had a good point. So what we're seeing here is fear. It is fear.
Fear of others. Fear of losing something.
Yeah. Yes, fear of others. Fear of losing something. But they have to understand. It's there's enough for everybody. Mm-hmm. Two, we're not a vengeful people. You know what I'm saying? It's like nobody's saying we're gonna, do to you what you did to us. No, we just want what everybody else wants.
When you told that story about going on that block, I thought about my grandmother used to do day work. And mm-hmm. the irony was the bus that I caught to high school was the bus my grandmother caught to clean white folks' house in a suburb here in the city. And for them to have that memory, oh, we used to clean over here, that it seems that progress has been made, but it's glacial, in right. terms of we take 2 steps forward. I would not be thinking in 2024, all of it. I know part of the Harris Walls campaign slogan is we're not going back. But there are a lot of people who certainly want us to go back.
Oh my gosh. they want us to go way back. I mean, dude is talking about he wants to, abolish the Constitution.
Yeah.
Like start from scratch. Like, like all the amendments that we fought for, and want to take that away. I mean, JD even said that to take away the women's right to vote.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
If you don't have kids, right?
Right.
Which would be my wife.
Yeah. Right.
Well, and then you're such a fascinating backstory in terms of your life. I know you worked on Blackish, so that means you worked with Kenya Burris, and he always says it always goes back to slavery. But in your family, it really does go back, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit, just briefly, a little bit about that history in your family in terms of that, where they were able to go back. Because I think you did something with Skip Gates, and he was able to go back.
Yes.
Share, because I see that. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I can see how that resonates even today. So tell us real quickly about that, if you can.
It was mind blowing. So I did Finding Your Roots with Dr. Gates, and he was able to go back to 1650. And so I think my ninth great grandmother was an indentured servant, white woman, probably from Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a baby with a Negro slave. So back then we didn't have like real racism yet. It was like Negro and then white people. Some white people were indentured servants and they were treated the same. But when she had this baby with this Negro slave, then the baby gets the condition of the mother. So they had this biracial baby, but it was considered free. So that started a line of free Negroes in Virginia.
Wow. Wow.
That
Elizabeth
is Banks.
Yeah. I mean,
I contributed that to why I'm so uppity.
You know where my family come from? Oh, come on. But no, I mean, and you think about, we talk a lot about it. We joke all the time here. It's always back to enslavement, right? And we're still dealing with the residual effects of that. But I think something else you mentioned, though, I think sometimes as descendants of enslaved Africans, we in this silo, we don't think that other groups are also out here suffering, right?
Right.
And so when they lump us all together as others, like, you can walk up to me, you don't know that if I'm a Haitian or not, but you can make that assumption based on the racism, right, that's out there. Do you think it's also a real fear of the threat to white male supremacy in this country? And that's what Kamala Harris represents?
Absolutely. They are so threatened right now. The thing is, why do you need it? Why, you know what I'm saying? Like, why is that your thing? Why I don't. And to me, it's like I don't think a dude like Bill Gates has it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I know a lot of just white guys out here doing their jobs, doing their thing, and they don't have it. So to me, it's like the dudes who need some help. Maybe that's the only thing you got to hang your hat on, or if your family's just like Donald Trump, he born with the silver spoon in his mouth, and then he lost that, and that I want to say I think he also had a pitchfork in his butt, that man. Man, that's some evil. That's some evil right there.
You can smell the sulfur when he leave the room, right?
Yes.
I gotta stop this.
I know the Harris campaign is like, don't have her call no more.
Right. Well, we was just singing this. Why does Anita Baker's song? It'll be all over in the morning. We'll be singing that on Wednesday. We don't know what it turns out to be. How would you encourage folks? And just so folks know, Ms. Sykes will be joining us in Milwaukee on November the 17th at the Riverside Theater. So if people certainly want to get there to get a chance to see her. But what do you say to people the 8 people out there who still haven't made a decision on who they're going to vote for, even go and vote? What would you say to them?
Look, I know we always say elections matter. I know you've heard the rhetoric of, your vote counts, but this time it really does. And this time everything is on the line. I mean, look, I'm a breast cancer survivor. So they want to get rid of, healthcare, Obamacare, whatever, and they want to allow insurance companies to bring back pre-existing conditions.
Yep.
Yeah. So I could lose my health care, or it'll be extremely expensive. Just reproductive rights. All right. These bans, I have a teenage daughter and a teenage son. These bans, like 4 women that we know of in Texas have lost their lives unnecessarily, tragically, because they couldn't get proper health care because of a pregnancy, going wrong or miscarriage or something. That's health care. The government shouldn't be telling the doctors what they can and can't do. I think if you work a 40-hour week, right, you should be able to take care of yourself. You should be able to take care of yourself. So we got to raise the minimum wage. Guess my taxes will go up. Yes, my taxes will go up. I'm not a billionaire, but my taxes will go up, and I'm fine with that. As long as I know where it's going to, I'm fine with helping with the $6,000 tax credit that she wants to give for your child, a child tax credit. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with this $1 million small business loans that she wants to give to Black entrepreneurs. All these things matter, from like I said, from healthcare to your rights, and there's a big one right here. Policing in this country. Donald Trump wants to give the police complete immunity. Okay? Immunity. He wants to bring back stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. I'm sure y'all have young men in your families. Do you really want that? You want your kid to just be walking along and the cops can just pull up and stop them for just nonsense? It's happening already, and we see how it turns out. So everything is on the line.
Everything.
So please, and the beautiful thing in your state, you can register and vote right there, same day, tomorrow on the spot. Just bring your ID, and if you need to find out where you can go to vote, go to wisdems.org/vote. Just go there, and they'll show you where you need to go to vote.
I am really appreciative. I've admired your work. Just going back, even the White House Correspondents' Dinner, all your work, just incredible work. But we have a group here, Milwaukee Film, and I get in trouble with the directors because I want them to do a screening of Pootie Tang, because Pootie Tang is like one of my favorite movies ever, all time. It is a classic in terms of just the right, and a lot of that had to, I'm sure, your relationship with Chris Rock. But yeah, we argue back and forth about Pootie Tang. I said, dude, Pootie, and there's a lot. We got big Pootie Tang fan club here in terms of that, but just all the wonderful work that you've done, and certainly you're on Blackish. Oh man, which is just great. So we appreciate you.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate you.
Oh
Thank
man, and I can tell everybody I talked to Wanda Sykes. So
yes,
you have made my day. Thank you, and really we appreciate you coming here in support of the Harris Walls campaign. Thank you, and you'll be in Milwaukee on November the 17th at the Riverside Theater. Yep.
Hope to see you there.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Miss Wanda Sykes.
Appreciate it.
Mhm. All right, we're back. All right. Well, I gotta get out. We out. Let me thank Representative Jasmine Crockett. Let me thank Ms. Wanda Sykes. Let me thank Michelle Debo. Thank you. Carvey, thank you. Jermaine, thank you. Y'all tune in tomorrow because boy, oh boy, if this happens, this is it's gonna send shockwaves. Shockwaves. Am I hyping it too much? You think it's gonna be that big?
You're on the money. You're on the money.
You think it's gonna be huge?
You don't know what we're talking about. He's talking about the election as a whole.
Oh no,
I got to share it with you off mic.
Yeah, man. This is this is the big one. The big one. All right. Good Lord willing, creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace.